Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
There we go. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I was kind of thrown off a little bit there because I literally just got some unofficial or official breakdown and results of the election. And the way that they're formatted, I really want to have to take a few seconds to see if I can go through some of it and just give an idea of some things, because this is how many sheets here? This is, when I tell you this is a comprehensive breakdown, it is a ridiculous comprehensive breakdown. So anyway, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Java Cafe. My name is James Jimmy Hills, and I am your host. I would like to begin today by wishing a very happy, longtime friend, sister birthday to a good sister friend of mine by the name of Deidre Stubbs. We have a couple of nicknames for each other that go back to when we were in our teens. I won't say what the names are, but Deidre, I love you and happy birthday to you. In addition to that, some years ago, me and Deidre talked about the fact of her birthday being on September 11th. And as today is September 11th, where we acknowledge the deaths of so many in Washington and New York and Pennsylvania as well, regarding the 9/11 attacks, we just want to also hold space for those families and those who were impacted. Additionally, we wanted to also name and ask you to keep in prayer the Grace family. We spent yesterday with them supporting Nia and the rest of her family in the death of their one of the matriarchs of the Grace family, a legendary family that I listened to the obituary yesterday. And it's so interesting when you look at Nia and you find out the stock from which she comes. And so we want to keep Lord and Monica and Nia and so many others in prayer for the Grace family. Additionally, as well, this morning, we wanted to also keep the Gray family in prayer. A good brother that I unfortunately did not have the honor and privilege to know the trivial things about him. He hosted a black centered space called Hella Black Trivia. Some of you may have seen already this morning that I have posted a reel when Jeff ran up on me and asked me some questions about Spike Lee's movies, and if my black card was based on my knowledge of what he was talking about, what movie. Now, I named a good bunch of Spike Lee's movies, but it was a very interesting reflection and memory. There are so many in our community that are impacted by his transition, like Sheena Collier, Shagun Idowu, Shauna Bryant, and so many others, Erica Estevez. And it I talked to someone yesterday and we talked about the fact that there's just been a lot of wow, this one. And so we just want to acknowledge and hold space for the Gray family and for a wide, impactful brother so widely across this city. To just name this morning our love and support for his family and his memory as well. In also speaking of that, there was another death yesterday. And on my timeline, there is a lot of debate about humanity and how we regard people's actions in life versus their when they die. And I put a post up earlier that said that um, Charlie, I want to get his name right, a young man that was known for being disparaging toward Black people, um a just someone who propagated a lot of hate. And the post that I put up um said that he was a human. Charlie Kirk is his name. He was a human. He was a horrible human. He was a human. And there is a lot of debate. Um, Someone said Evelyn sells Boston, that he was a Christian. Evelyn, thank you, because it's a good segue. I haven't seen a lot of the exact direct post. I've seen a few. Let's first talk about subsets. There was a reference to this man being a Christian. I have, in many contexts of late, talked about the fact that white Christian nationalism, Christian white nationalism, national white Christianism is a force and a drive in a lot of the racism and the making America great again in this country. And of a subset of our humanity, I've seen some posts from some Christians that, according to the tenets of their faith, leave me a little bewildered because in the tenets of the Christian faith, there's a soul. And despite the horrible human being that he was, he had a soul. And how that soul and where that soul, according to the tenets of the Christian faith, spends its eternity is up to God. And so, from the point of naming that he was a Christian, with the not so nice, as Evelyn referred, videos disparaging toward women, reparations, Black people, some of the posts I've seen from Christians and then others. I asked Domingo this morning when we were texting, have we lost our humanity? Have we? Full transparency. The night that the press released that bin Laden was killed, there were very few that did not have some tone, presumably, here in America on 9/11. Interestingly, so let's mention this. That would not that were celebratory. Now, it's documented that I said the human side of us has to consider that somebody, Ayanna Pressley said it in reference to Charlie Kirk. That was somebody's son, somebody's father. Well, in bin Laden's case, somebody's father. Somebody loved these humans. If we, as humanity, aren't for a brief second given pause by death, that's interesting. There's no judgment on the displayed naming, citing of the horribleness of Charlie Kirk. And I got a name that with some, the horribleness was named. And then they said, but, you know, let's pause and consider humanity. And so we are living in very interesting times. And I've often shared that, my background is a Christian faith. And I'm looking at things but even away from the Christian faith, humanity, you don't have to be a Christian to have a regard for humanity from top to bottom, from well publicized deaths, killings like this. That side note, pause for a moment. that some people in this country are attempting to have a moment of silence in spaces where they are supposed to create policies and laws that move toward equity, and this man's horribleness displayed nothing toward equity. Yeah, no. We can be human. Cite, pause, pray for, and then continue the work of blocking the nastiness of what that man, human, displayed and propagated and promoted and asserted. So, if we can't have regard for humanity, then what are we? I don't mean to have us in a sunken place this morning, but I have to be my authentic self and name this. So, we're going to go to the comments. We will talk about the election, and all politics are local, everybody. In the IG area, or IG section of the Java Cafe, I already said good morning to Evelyn. Good morning, Janina. Good to see you in the room. Good morning. Hey, it's Shauna. Good morning, Ari. Good to see you in the room. Aquarius King Robertson. Good to see you in the room this morning as well. I just figured out who that was. Now my glasses are clean. I can see the template. Good morning. Evelyn, I said good morning as well. We saw those videos. Kareem, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room. Martin or Martine, if that's the brother Martin, I think it is. Extra what's up to you, brother. And Samora, good to see you in the room over in the IG section of the Java Cafe as well. Let's also go to the Facebook section, and always Mama Java, most of the time, first one in the room. Good morning to you. Good to see you in the room this morning. Nicole, good to see you in the room this morning. I saw your post. She says she got time to block people today. I blocked somebody this morning. I can't have you in my space asserting arguments against the fact of calling out what Charlie Kirk stood for. Oh no. In these times, if I don't know you well and your politics promote racism, xenophobia, domestic violence, you're supporting someone that believes that a little tat or argument or something, a husband and a wife, shouldn't be considered a crime if he strikes her or something. I didn't see the exact words, but this is the spirit in which this climate has been created has always been in this country, but the surge of it started in 2008 when Barack Obama got elected. Let's keep that 100. Then it was further taken to a different dimension when that man rolled down the escalator and said he was running for president. Sorry. Let's go back to the comments. But Nicole, I agree. I got time today to block people. No. Nisi, good morning. Good to see you in the room this morning. Also, Milton, my brother. Good Milton. I thought about you yesterday based on a post that I was going to make. Let's also acknowledge that I was made aware yesterday that there was an incident at Madison Park High School. And let me write that down. I knew today was going to be interesting. Guess what, y'all? I got pen and paper. We're going to be here till about 11-ish. So I'm still celebrating. I'm still taking time off. We'll get back to Madison Park and that issue. And also, it'll be a good time to talk about gun violence, what we saw yesterday, and also the fact that there's gun violence for some of us every day that we're dealing with. Milton, good to see you in the room this morning. I'm sorry that me putting you up, but I thought about our text yesterday about the fact that some people need to ensure that they continually stay in touch with community as infrastructures to violence prevention are being reframed and formed, largely based on advocacy of people that have been around and in this work from when you was Donna, good morning. Good to see you in the room this morning. Rhonda, good to see you in the room. I always see you but seeing you comment here on the show is awesome. Good to see you in the room. And again, happy birthday to Deidre. Mother Lisa, good to see you in the room this morning. Good to see you. Milagro, good morning. Good to see you in the room. I saw your little comments. Was it yesterday? I think. Calling me out. Milton, thank you, presumably for the prayers for everyone. Mother Debbie, I'll say it this time just because you're Deidre's mother. Good to see you in the room this morning, as always. Pastor Marion, good to see you in the room this morning as well. Let me see what Ed is saying here before I put it up. And it's a big one, so let me sit up. What Ed is saying is, last word, shake my head attendee. Do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years? Kirk, too many. Applause. Attendee in America. It's 5 now. Now 5. 5 is a lot, right? I'm going to give you let me read this right. So there was an applause. An attendee says in America, it's 5. Now, 5 is a lot. I'm going to give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years? Kirk, counting or not counting gang violence? I saw that clip. Horrible human being. Horrible. And even in my humanity, who the hell am I to classify somebody's horribleness? But oh my, I don't assert. There's going to be a commercial break at some point, so I can just keep myself together. Deidre, good morning. Good to see you in the room this morning as well. Shauna, good morning. Good to see you in the room this morning. Pastor Sharon Cornelius, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Ed is saying we don't need to feel bad about his passing. We also don't need to celebrate it. Any human being in this political climate who was killed, I feel bad. I'm not celebrating it. You know what I mean? And yeah. Ed, very good point there. Sister Soraya, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Nicole, thank you so much for praying for that family and presumably all the families as well. Did y'all see the struggle right there? As much as I'm humanity, the awareness of the horribleness fights the humanity. But guess what's going to win? I'm determined to make sure humanity wins. It has to. Who or what are we as a society if death does not give us pause? All deaths, and let me just park here for a minute since I'm there. Some of the other things I saw trending on social media in the frustration of the naming that was a human. Part of that conversation was, we see young people, deaths, cops killing Black people due to poverty and things, deaths that happen within the Black community that is not named. That is not a trend and in discussion on social media right now. So we also have to be balanced with that. And I'll also say this as it was a thought in my authenticity. We have to go back to asking questions about where did the gun come from in it when I'm talking about urban violence. Because there was that case that came out, not case, but story that came out a couple of weeks ago about the 15-year-old with the, I don't want to say assault rifle, but automatic something. Had a gun, period, at 15 years. But see, I don't care what kind of gun it was. So, Mother said, Pops and I celebrating their 32nd, thank you for the 32nd wedding anniversary. So let's celebrate Pops and Mother for their 32nd wedding anniversary. I don't know if I would stay in the right key, so I'm not going to sing, but it's your anniversary. At least stayed on the right notes. Congratulations to both of you and give Pops my best. I want to take pause for a second as we shortly get ready to talk about the election and celebrate this Black woman who, if you look at the numbers we're going to talk about, came in last for D7. A Black woman ran for office, and that should be celebrated. Tashad, we bow and we celebrate you for stepping up in the leadership to do that. Rochelle, good to see you all the way back from Australia. Good to see you in the room this morning. Good to see you in the room. Mayor Thomas, I need to get you on one day because you be putting up a whole bunch of commentary about a whole bunch of stuff. Good to see you in the room, brother. Good to see you in the room. Liza White, good to see you in the room this morning as well. Also, the wave is in the room. A wave of coffee is in the room. Good to see you in the room, brother. Good to see you in the room. Going back, way back to Roxbury days, before there was the Dearborn, when it was when we had the Wheatley and all that. Good to see you in the room, brother. Pastor Marion said, have a white evangelical friend who lives in North Carolina who's blaming Obama and Biden administrations are to blame for the atmosphere. Folks, I was going to put up a post this morning and ask people to share it. We have to understand that man that sits at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue is a marketing messaging genius. The message of it, trash. To Pastor Marion's point, when you see posts that are accurate, when you see little things like Dump is lying, he was a part of creating this environment, there's no excuse for killing someone. However, when facts are posted, take a simple second, hit like and share, because the more social media in this age, I felt a little petty and shade there. I'll hold on to that. Social media in this age is a powerful tool when it comes to the masses. The nature of where we are now in 2025, it was a big part of the guy at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue winning the election. It's a part of attempts by some to win elections by spending $6.1 million and still came in at 48% under. Let me behave. We'll get back to that. That's right. Send them to the block party. Shauna, in what context? I'm not sure that you're mentioning that. There's a little, for folks new to the room, there's a little delay with comments, and I do a whole bunch within 30-second period. So forgive me if I don't get all of the context in some of the comments. Diane, good morning. Good to see you in the room this morning. Brown Sugar Creator, amongst some other things. Thank you so much for the recent award. We appreciate it so much, and I had a good time that night. They played my song. I believe in humanity and empathy. This is coming from Anthony. A offspring of the 32nd anniversary of the Davises in the room. And also, let me pause for a minute. And also, let's just name from a political, well, let me go to I'll get back to that. Hold on. We got 3 points to finish before we get off today. Anthony says, I believe in humanity and empathy, so I can sympathize with Charlie Kirk's family. However, it's bothered me how many Democrats and or progressives are rushing to post condolences to this man. They want to look so above politics that they don't realize that they're also lending their platforms to him, exposing their followers to him. Somebody put a post up or just said, Evelyn said yesterday is when I saw the not so nice videos. Facts, AJ. Anthony, facts. It's a thought, so I'm going to share it. I get the humanity. I get that for some of them, we want to hope that the motive, based on what I just said about social media, messaging, and marketing, that the Democrats that rush to do it with hopefully a motive of level setting and getting us back to humanity. But to Anthony's point about just for the political, the likes and shares, balance with what, come on, y'all, there's a balance here. Likes and shares have impact. But if the motive is not to center us back to humanity and just to put up a post to trend and yeah, and we don't know people's motives, but valid point here. A couple of them. So good morning, Miss Love. Good morning, cuz. Good to see you in the room. Anthony also said, I can see the thumbnails a little bit better this morning, so I'm realizing who folks are. Meanwhile, there was a school that part. There was a school, and that's in my notes, Anthony. I'm going to go back to that and say, well, let me just go to it now since it's up on the comments. I talked about it a little bit a couple of seconds ago. And I've talked about it before there was ever a Java. I would post and talk about, yep, we see these mass shootings in the public and in the media and all that other stuff. But just the other day, right here in front of my house, where I used to live from 2017 until I moved here until 2023, even 23, there was a shooting within 2 or 3 blocks of my house every summer. When I was talking about asking the question of where the gun comes from and things like that, I think in this climate with so many other distractions and things, people like the work of the Mass Council Against Gun Violence, Ruth, and I always mess up her last name, that does that work. Programs like that and the advocacy that they do need to be supported. We need to be in tuned, sign up to get on a mailing list and find out what they're doing. That a simple you putting your name and email on a link to legislators about gun laws. I'll get to civic engagement in a few minutes. I'm not trying to fuss a lot this morning, y'all. We first of all, I wasn't on yesterday, so there's some things to catch up with. But we just gotta we have to do better at managing life's challenges with the challenge of doing the things that will help through policy and legislation kind of put some ease in life's challenges. It's a hard balance. I'm going to talk about some percentages, some percentages when we talk about the low turnout of voting numbers. Let me put that down, low turnout. Okay. We got 4 things on the agenda to discuss in the next 28 minutes because I'm determined to try to get off of here by 11. I have to go visit the sick and the shut-in. Y'all keep Brother Marv Neal in prayer. He had shoulder surgery, and I've been checking on him, and I was summoned to check on him. So keep Brother Marvin in prayer as well. Dina is saying, off topic, Domingos is going to run again in 2029. I saw that. Domingos put a post up that said, take your signs down and put them up for 2029. Since Dina put it here, y'all know I flow on the comments sometimes. We just really have to celebrate that brother. Early in the evening, I was very concerned that he was going to be 4th. He topped 3rd. And for that black man that didn't spend a lot of money, that didn't have a lot of connections in the millions of dollars, and then even the guy who he beat, Capucci, he spent some money as well. Mingo, brother, we love you. We thank you for a lot of the policy issues that you were, are, and will continue to push. I talked to Mingo yesterday. Matter of fact, did he answer? Because I asked him if he was getting out of here, because he does need to take a couple of days break because running for mayor, see, I'm seeing if Mingo answered. And if y'all know him, he didn't answer my question about leaving. If y'all know Mingo, do me a favor right now. Send Mingo a text and say, Mingo, when are you leaving? Go on his inbox and say, Mingo, when are you leaving? Let's make sure that we give that brother some space to rest and recoup and do what it is that he wants to do to continue raising awareness to the issues as well as advocating for them. He ain't just talking about them. Mingo's out there. Katrina, good morning. Good to see you in the room this morning. Long-time friend as well. My mother then went on and gave me another number on YouTube. I ain't mad at it. She's saying happy anniversary to the Davises as well. The Wave God, that's what I was trying to remember. And Wave Nation, I think that's what it is. I got it right. Again, good. He said surfs up. Good to see you in the room. Big Charles, is in the room over on Instagram. Good to see you this morning. Give your sister or my sister my best as well. All right. Dina is saying, sending prayers to all the families that have lost loved ones, no matter the deceased person's character. Facts. Teron, what's up, brother of TNT Printing? Good to see you in the room. Excuse me, this morning as well. All right. I think I am caught up with the comments. Wow, no, I'm not, because I'm just catching up with Tashad's. Thank you. Okay. Tashad is saying thank you to everyone, and we appreciate you, sis, for running as well. You copped out with the birthday song. I'm not singing no birthday song. No singing here. Oh, anniversary, not the birthday. Anniversary, Rob. Nope. You already know my guy. All day, brother. Salute to you as well. Ed is saying every D7 prelim election is an example of why we need ranked choice voting. That has come up a lot. I tried to get brother Ed to get ready to come on and talk about Boston, but he's going statewide right now. But if we're going to talk ranked choice, we're going to talk specifically Boston right now. And D7 is a good example of that. Also, there was some questions around how ranked choice would have played in the mayoral campaign as well. So pay attention to ranked choice voting, everyone, and the work that's going on there. City Council did sign off on it. So I believe it will be adopted and enacted soon. In what cycle? I'm not sure. Side note, personal for me, let's rank choice after that man leaves 1600, because anything with districts and voting and all that right now with this man at the federal level. Every D7 prelim election is an example of why we need ranked choice voting. Consistently, the majority of voters who turn out vote for someone that doesn't make it into the final two. Very inequitable. Absolutely. And we don't like inequitability or inequitable things here in the Java Cafe. Facts. Diana, good morning. Good to see you in the room this morning as well. Mayor Thomas was send the block party is what Dr. Umar says when someone comments about bullshit on his time. Oh, Jesus. Oh, send the block party, meaning like get them. I wonder in what poster reference this was, bro. From that to like the cancel culture and all that, it's interesting times. I'll pause right here and just be 100. People are making me aware that people are making up stuff about me and dragging me on social media and whatnot. I only mention it because it was a thought. Ours is to stay focused. As I've posted and said before, I really still try to adopt this philosophy. My 4 years ago, I don't know, I have to check the original post. I got a revelation one day. I said, it's not really, I have a different perspective when it comes to hate. One, they don't really know me. And the saddest part is they really don't know themselves, because if they did, and their potential and what they really could do by just being consistent, there wouldn't be a need for what some perceive. The last week, the last few months, the last couple of years, people will say stuff, yo, Jimmy, you doing this, you doing that. And then they'll pause for a second and be like, but you got a lot of hate out there. We keep it moving. We keep it percolating. We keep it brewing. We keep having impact. Now, we talked about humanity. Does the human side of me, the man in me, the hood in me sometimes want to buck back? But as long as y'all continue to keep me in prayer, I'll be good. Ma, we're going to talk about the stabbing at Madison in a few minutes. It's 10:39, and I got 4 topics to still discuss. Definitely crew. DEF is in the room. Good to see you all in the room this morning. Good to see you in the room. Big Cheryl says, we love you and hope to see you in person soon. I might pop out to the BECMA is having their Mass Black Expo. I think that's what it's called. So I may pop out and see you there soon as well. Ed is also saying Tashad Court, the HRP Boston sent to the State House would have advanced the top 4 candidates, but also would have fostered a more issue-based and civil campaign in a civic ecosystem. When you have a campaign for second and third votes, you have to talk more to voters. More voters engaged by candidates lead to more turnout. That is absolutely true. I'll put it under turnout because I have some thoughts there, top to bottom. Okay, it's not 5 things now, but I'm not going to put any more notes down. Dina said he was out still working in community yesterday. That one true test of a candidate's commitment to community is when they leave the candidacy. Are they still committed? Are they still in community? Mingo consistently. So thank you for a reminder of that. Anthony also says Democrats always rush to be the better persons. And while it's admirable, excuse me, I shifted the fan to the winter thing this morning. And I dusted it last week, but I think, all right. Hold on, excuse me. Excuse me. All right. Anthony is saying Democrats always rush to be better persons. And while it's admirable, part of that is why their favorability rating is 24%. I don't think they need to say negative things, but I can also say for a fact that there are Democrats whose followers learned about some of the things Charlie Kirk has said because a Democrat posted him yesterday. To Anthony's point, we're talking about it now. And so while we're bringing attention, and I think there's a balance of being aware, but yeah, there's a way to do it without the post I did. That man was human. That man was human. That man was a horrible human. That man was human. No post, nothing, no links to him and his trash and the things that he said while he was living. All right, we're going to get to some other topics in a minute. Pastor Marion said, my dad taught me and my siblings that rumors are spread about you. Those who really know you know the truth. Pastor, I definitely know that. Thank you so much for that. I definitely appreciate it. Ed said that someone told something about you just left. Someone told, presumably me, something about you just the other day. Laugh out loud, haters. It's interesting. I will say this, not particularly to Ed's point, but if there's a person that's constantly coming to you, telling you what someone said, and it's the same someone or a few someones, why are they comfortable coming to you about you? Sorry. And that wasn't directed at Ed. It was a thought. So Miss Teresa, is it Miss Teresa's on social media, but did she text me back yet? About 2 hours ago this morning, I text Miss Teresa. Good morning, Miss Teresa. Good to see you in the room. All right. I want to get ready to close out and just mention a few things. My mother mentioned Madison Park. We talked a little bit about the imbalance of attention and energy to, national recognized mass shootings away from shootings and violence within our community. We've said it, we will say it. The numbers in Boston are low in comparison to past years. If I remember right, I saw an alarming percentage of this year compared to last year when it comes to low numbers. However, there are still incidents of violence in the city, and particularly in certain areas. There's still, where the numbers are low, the numbers are still there. And yesterday there was a stabbing at Madison, and it led me to ask, I just had this thought. While this new infrastructure that's being put in place, streamlining violence, advocated for it, supported the person that's leading it right now. I wonder where, if there was, and how we can be made aware that what was the intentionality of planning, because not everybody, but people that move in this space ought to or should know that the back to school time is another one of those times we have increases in incidents of violence. So, what was the intel discussion? What was the awareness of the most number, through the gang database? Who's in what school and who has the two greatest numbers of representation of the two biggest gangs in Madison? And how did proactively look? Who has taken Brother Bum's place? That within a few minutes after hearing about an incident could make some phone calls and say, hey, we need to do this. I think this is going to be the next action here or shooting there. And so, interestingly so, I'm about to say these words. We need to know. And it's not saying that it's not being done. And it's not saying that I have to know everything. But Jesus. So that is one of the things that, and I'm proud of myself because I did well this morning, because y'all know this space. I don't care about candor, respect. Well, some respect. But come on. Make the community aware of what's going on. What is the current status? What's changed, what's changing, and what changes are to come. And if I didn't just see Pastor Marion's name, I would have said something after that affirms that I'm serious. Got people in the city who have spent their lives dedicated to trying to prevent violence and things like that. And Lord Jesus, help me. Rich, it's good to see you in the room. You know why, Tai, I would mess up your name? Seen it on Instagram. I seen it somewhere else with just your name, and I now can pronounce it better. Good to see you in the room this morning. Brother Vacado, author, mogul. What else? Author, mogul, rapper, something else. Good to see you in the room. You first have to show a name. These kids respect to make a difference. You can have 30 programs. If no one is respected, there's no facts. It goes back to that OG model and whatnot. And we've had the conversations with Darren and many people about OGs and an 8-year difference. You could be considered an OG. And if you're 14 and 35, 40-year-old is trying to talk to you, you're like, yo, what? Your grandpa. Things have changed even in the dynamics of the OG model. However, even if you're not an OG and you can get somebody that's active, get them service, get them some real money, and get them on a trajectory to a better quality of life, guess what? They go back and be like, yo, such and such, I did it. They hooked me up. Yo, man, for real. So, valid point. All right, we got guns, local violence. Madison. Oh, there's not an. All right, I'll do mayoral last. Low turnout, okay. I guess, yep, this all comes together. Mayoral, low turnout, top to bottom. All right. It is the responsibility of us as Black people whose ancestors did not have the right, who right now in our generation are currently seeing changes to the Voting Rights Act. It is our individual responsibility to register, to vote, to make ourselves aware of election days. They typically stand as the second Tuesday in September and the second Tuesday in November. However, in September, sometimes the day may change based on Labor Day being a Monday. Do you want to pay the extra overtime for people to work on a holiday to get ready for an election on a Tuesday? The other part of that is we lose some inequity in voting, because if you have an election the day after Labor Day, some people are likely not to vote. Side note, extra information. It is our individual responsibility to do that. Facts. However, lifes, poverty, 2 and 3 jobs, daycare, pickup. Also, to some extent, folks not being aware. So that gets to the point of low voter turnout and top to bottom. And what I mean by low voter turnout top to bottom is that from Domingo raised this, from events where the mayor, our Congress people, our governor, our state people in close to an election, in close to a time where registration for voting is getting ready to close, from whatever announcement, from whatever event, from whatever initiative, there's always an ability to tie in voting. Now, certain events and things, are electeds at risk of being accused of, and they are just now for doing the event, can they be accused of encouraging voters to vote at a city sponsored, a state sponsored, a federally sponsored event and be perceived as conflating the campaign with what I call the 9 to 5 of the job? Yes. However, all of these electeds have campaign sides, campaign funds. How are those funds spent? Yes, you're spending the funds out of your campaign, so you want people to vote for you, fine. But where is the intentionality from top to bottom? And I'm talking about the top right now among our electeds to ensure that not only do we get people out to vote for you or them, but just get them out to vote. If you paid attention to my cadence from my birthday to early Tuesday, maybe somewhat Sunday night, it was, yes, I was supporting Michelle for mayor, but a lot of it changed to just vote. And let me side note and be my authentic self and just share a thought that I had as well. As much as there was this stuff about woo woo gotta go and get rid of her and all this other stuff, where was that energy in the polls? Away from individuals and candidates. If all that stuff was done, if all that stuff that was done on the keyboard and on this book called Face, Would Mingo came in second? Would Mingo came in first? I support Michelle Wu unequivocally for values and morals. Large percentage agreed. Life experience with Mingo, definitely a higher percentage of experience. But when we talk experience, we also talk about management during this time when the federal administration is interesting. So, top to bottom, low voter turnout. When I say bottom, I mean civic led organizations whose responsibility and are funded to be civic leaders and promote civic engagement in their communities and for the populations and constituencies in which they write in their grants to get funding to promote voter turnout. Top to bottom. Individuals, it's our responsibility. But when lifes and people forget and the belief is that it takes at least 10 contacts to get somebody to vote for you. Would it just take 6 just to get somebody to vote, period? I don't know. I haven't seen the data. There is another election coming up, and I don't know why I keep forgetting. November 4th, second Tuesday, second year. November 9th. Hold on. Uh-oh. I got a bunch of texts. What did I say? What did I do? Cash. Okay, this is why I don't check the text. Okay. November. Okay, Miss Teresa. So election day is on. So maybe it's the first Tuesday in November. Is it the first Tuesdays? Or this year, maybe Labor Day, what I said a few minutes ago threw me off. The next election is on November 4th. Registration, for those of you that aren't registered to vote, closes on hold on, y'all. Y'all know I have no problem looking up stuff in real time. Whew. All right, I'm tired. We got 6 minutes. October 25th. Today's what? Hey Siri, how many days until October 25th? There's 44 days left to register to vote. If you know a 17-year, let me tell y'all something. And I thought this was going to be a strategy of the other side, and it wasn't. So maybe I don't want to say it over here and give free game away, as Carlos said. Less trolls watch than supporters. So I'll go ahead and say it. Your little cousins, your nephews, and all them that will be 18 by October 25th, get their Happy Tails registered. Encourage them to register to vote. When you give them a birthday card, you take them out, all this other stuff, get a registration form with you. Have the link ready for them to register to vote. Get these young people involved early. Use that influence there. Stan, I thought your comment said something else. Never mind. I'm not. Oh, anyway, this is why I don't be looking at the comments. And all right. Stan said candidate support via social media is not actual money. Candidate support via social media is not. But got you. It's not money. So 2 points there. Donate to your candidate. And then social media, if you have a I said it before, I need y'all to help and promote Java with Jimmy on social media. You can support your candidate through posts and sharing and all of that. I do that. But guess what? I went out and voted for Michelle. And so last thing, I'll talk about some percentages. I am Malia, I saw, and you see where I am. That's why percentages. So I'm not going to be able to get into this. I just seen, Jesus Lord, I just seen the page of this thing is 75 pages of the breakdown. Wards, precincts, how many votes, who went to who, blanks. Ooh, today's Thursday. What do I got this weekend? I'm going to have a good weekend. I'm going to have a nerdy weekend going through these numbers. Whoa, let me tell y'all. All right. Percentages. At last I saw, there was 20% voter turnout. Of the eligibility to vote, I think I saw Tanya Anderson did a whole breakdown, and I'm not going to get into that because if I open that thing up, we're going to be here another half an hour. We're going to have to do, I'm going to bring Carlos back, and we'll do some breaking down of these numbers because the numbers tell you who had support where. And sometimes where the bulk of support is comes with some historical context of those supporters. 20%, presumably, last I saw, voted. All today, and I've said before, that there is a population that can't vote. And what I mean by that is 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. for their life just doesn't work. Yes, there's mail-in. Yes, there's early voting. Hear me out here. Hear me out. We can give, I'm giving grace to 15% of voters that just can't. Let's just say they did. Give me this. Let me just hear me out. So that puts us at 35%. If you give me grace to say there's 15% that no matter what, and I know y'all will be like, what you mean no matter what? They could have mailed in, they could have early voted, they could have I get it. But just hear me. That's 35. That leaves 65% of the electorate, presumably, that could have voted. All right, let's give that couldn't, can't. We'll match it with the turnout. Let's give it 20% that just by no, they, well, I don't want to, because that's a little disrespectful to the unhoused. For whatever reason, let's just give 20% a unequivocal, gracious, they couldn't. That's 40%. Where were the other 60? So, um, so Miss Teresa, y'all ain't slick. The document is open, the 75-page one. The synopsis of what Tanya did with the breakdown. I'm not opening that. My stomach, you talk about eat and drink. My stomach is growling now. So, nope. Mr. Teresa, I dare you. Y'all did well. It's 11:01. Union Capital members that get points for watching Java with Jimmy as a community engagement model. Y'all get 90 minutes today. Oh, Jesus. Do you see? I got to go get the eyebrows. Do you see the eyebrow hanging down like below the hat? All right. It's time to go. Teacher, I struggle with this on two levels. Malia's commenting. Hold on. And Ari did too. There is no, hold on. Okay. Jesus, we're going to be here another 15 minutes. Dietrich, to your point, people don't care anymore. I don't know if I shared with you all, but hear me out on this. I am a very hopeful, optimistic person. And sometimes it is perceived as being gullible, unaware, and unknowledgeable. It's not. It goes back to how we started this morning. I will forever have hope in humanity. It just is a part of who I am. I found out a few weeks ago, and God helped me remember who I remember who I was talking to. Let me write that down so I can thank her. In a conversation with a young woman, she was naming her perception of me and whatnot. And she said, "You're always so hopeful and optimistic." And I responded to her because we had talked about some of my intersections, her intersections. And I responded to her and I said, you know, when you look at all of my intersections, a black man, y'all know. You want me to take you through it? A man, a black man. No, I'm going to say a black man, a black person, a black man that loves God, a black man that loves God who's gay, a black man that loves God who's gay, who grew up in the hood. That intersection and everything that I've been through in life, I had to have hope. So that lends to, this is my second discovery of this year's journey of shadow work that I've been doing. Yep, I only got two. I started it in 52, 53. For me to get to impactful epiphanies after 53 years of life, and to everyone that's helped for this. And so my point here is we have to have and continue to keep hope based on, I'm trying to see what got me here. Oh, to Dietrich's point, that people don't care anymore. My hope won't fully let me believe that. And I'm thinking about this in real time. They care. And even when their care is placed in a place that, like Charlie Kirk did. So they do care, but I know what you mean. The second part of that I'll say is I've heard this asserting that, one of our elected officials doesn't care about black people. And I as an individual, knowing them, but then humanity too, and knowing life experience, knowing my own personal private conversations, knowing that there was an intentionality for economic boost for Black Boston, like Dietrich, it's just a thought because I had a conversation with a I'll tell y'all later, but with a news outlet outside of Boston. And it was reference was made to an article I was cited in to where that comment came up. I'll just say it that, Mayor Michelle Wu doesn't care about black people. Even if it was only 50. Anyway, I'm not going to get into the campaign political stuff, but all right, we're going to wrap up. Liza said, and I said Liza, Liza. I would say Liza now. I just noticed it. She said, never knew I could earn UCB points for watching. You good to know. Yes, Java with Jimmy by Union Capital is considered a community engagement space. Union Capital, you have to register, gives points for residents that engage in community events as an incentive for them to go out, like voting. Sorry. Mm-mm. Brother Mike, what's up, brother? Good to see you in the room. Good to see you in the room. The Real Boston Media, man, the post yesterday about that man, they were going in. Don't take me. I'm going to finish the comments and get out of here. Nisi said if she's a member. So, Liza, if you're not a member, between my mother, Sharon, Nisi, there's a whole bunch of folks in here that you can get with and give them points. Look. Nisi and my mother's going after because they get points for getting people registered at Union Capital. Terrible. All right, let me finish over on Instagram and then we're definitely going to wrap up because it's 11:07. Okay. There is no grace for this, Jimmy. Only grace I know is Ari said, there's no grace for this, Jimmy. Only grace I know of is Nia. Shout out again to Nia. Nia directed the choir yesterday. That the family was laughing at me because Nia started directing. And I'd had to what because she was just ooh, and they say that I'm interesting to watch. All right. Malia said, not believing in the process, not feeling invited. There's a whole lot of that. And I think Malia is probably referring to a lot of the commentary that either Anthony said or the whole piece I was talking about in the violence prevention space. Real Boston Media. I don't know who that is. All right, I'm going to get ready to go. Does intersections and intersections mean you cross? Bye, Miss Teresa. All right, I'm going to go, and we will see you. Did Miss Teresa over pop on? Y'all go ahead. Y'all can pop on the different platforms and give them numbers. Speaking of numbers, I want to let you all know that there's an opportunity that the number of either food stamps that you have or the number of farmers markets where you can go and earn points and also get some coupons to get fresh fruits and vegetables from the farmers markets. They are actually now open. So let me just get the information for you while I go ahead and put that graphic up on the screen. At this point, with all that's going on, the holidays are coming. What fruits and vegetables you can get now and either preserve them, can them, freeze them. I'm getting ready to get my turkey wings now. Alexa said that I can freeze them for up to 6 months. It ain't going to be 6 months. So, yeah, where is this note, Jesus? There's a lot of pictures here. Hold on. Fresh farm. Start that again. That'll be a blooper at some point. Fresh. Oh, That's why I couldn't do it. In my head is Fresh Farm. I'm going to try this again. Farm Fresh is right around the corner. Do you have SNAP? Get more fruits and vegetables at farmers markets with HIP. I'm going to tell you what HIP is in a second. Dina, I was supposed to get this to you a few days ago. All right, here we go. We're going to do it again. I know people that know me well are sitting cracking up. Farm Fresh is right around the corner. Looking for fresh food? Visit a local farmer's market in Boston. Buy fruits and vegetables with EBT and get up to an extra $40 earned. This is why I don't do my own commercials, because I usually have to take about 10 times to start it again. Listen, Farm Fresh is active. You can get $40 a month. And, well, if you have EBT, and you can also earn some coupons based on what Brother Domingo said the other day. We want to let you know that this message is sponsored by the Boston Public Health Commission, the City of Boston, and the Centers for Disease Control. Now, if anybody from the CDC is on there right now, they're going to be like, hey, who's that guy in Boston that stuttered over? In all seriousness, please take advantage of this. And the link that you can go to is boston.gov farmers market. So we're going to put that link in right now so you can hyperlink to it. Boston.gov farmers market. And make sure that you know how to take advantage, if you use EBT, to take advantage of your EBT. What do you call it? Your EBT benefits. Okay, let's get this link in here for you. We are really definitely getting ready to go. Lasagna and Miss Teresa. Y'all are what you call it. That's all right. That's cool. Here is the link for you all to, let me go over to James to make sure we put it there as well. Elizabeth Warren just went off about saying that Democrats need to tone down their rhetoric. Come on. She just said, how about you tell the man at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue to slow down his rhetoric. All right, hold on. All right, here's the link if you're watching on James W. Hills. We'll pin it over there. So $40 a month. That's good. $40 a month on fresh fruits and vegetables is definitely something that we need to take advantage of. So do that. Miss Teresa, I love you too. I'm going to, did y'all see what the Real Boston Media? Oh, we're going to close out with that one. Family, close friends, y'all may not hear from me today because I need to steal away. I'm good, but to stay good, I take these days where I D&D and just do me. So, the Real Sharon, leave me alone. The Real Boston Media just really named Alexa Janessa Hills. If that ain't black. All right. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you all for being here this week. Again, we ask you to keep the Gray family, the Grace family, and the Kirk family in your thoughts and in your prayers. To Anthony's point, family versus his character, what Stan said as well, I believe it was. Yes. So keep our humanity in prayer. How about that? Have a great day, everyone. Remember to register to vote by October 25th. The next election is on November 4th, 2025. I will also give you all a warning. Again, remember October 15th. The Museum of Science just actually dropped the link. I don't know if the tickets are out yet, but get your tickets for Java with Jimmy at the Museum of Science on October 15th. October, I'm telling you all now, I don't know how I did it, but October is going to be, I don't know how I let it happen. But October is going to be one of those months that is going to be crazy. So keep your ears open. Also, make sure that you go like and share and follow Java with Jimmy everywhere. We just hit a milestone on my personal page on Facebook with 7,000 followers. We are close to 7,000 followers on Instagram. And people like Diane Vivian and others understand that when you're a business in this space, yes, a content creator, using my digitability to advocate, these things are important. So if I could get 32 people that have yet to follow me on Instagram at Java with Jimmy to go do that right now, we would hit another milestone over there. So YouTube, do you know we're on YouTube? You can subscribe to YouTube because this fall, there are going to be certain things that are going to, I'm going to record and premiere, and they're only going to be on YouTube, but you won't know about them until after the fact because I'll post the reel a week later. Certain people in this room have been also telling me for years that I need to put some of my content behind a paid wall where we'll have memberships. And I've talked about it, but okay, now we get into the struggle of community. But please, let me make this plain. I'm a business. And part of my business is promotion. Part of my business is sharing information. When it comes to the community, public health, COVID, that stuff shows to get info out. But if you're advertising events, you have a budget, you're getting paid, and I'm really talking about some of these legacy ad firms. And I'm also talking about some people from which I never got a notification about a like, share, or anything, but then my inbox is constantly filled with your events, some of which are ticketed. So you're making money. I'm an entrepreneur. This thing has to be maintained. And by hook or crook, not crook, but you know what I mean, I hustle to keep this thing maintained. There are some guests like Carlos and others that come in consistently and share their knowledge. I've been able to send that, I've been able to send that man one Cash App just as a courtesy for his time. I want to be able to, we got to expand. So I just needed to put that out there. And there's some people in here that would be very proud of me. And there's some people that are going to screenshot, hear this, text their, anyway. I only mention it, y'all. I mention it because I need them to know that I know. But I really don't care. And if I didn't care, I wouldn't mention it. Yeah. That's the human side of me that just, I give myself one petty a quarter. Probably at 4 this quarter because of the election. So we're going to get ready to go. Dina, you didn't miss you didn't miss nothing. I just had to make some things plain. And let others know what others knew and know and have said to me and about me, and I've struggled to embrace it. So I guess that's the third thing, or the 2.5 thing of this shadow. I'm comfortable in the fact in knowing my worth and value and stating and naming it. So thank you, Miss T. I appreciate you too. Oh, proud of you too. I'm getting off of here. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Please keep in mind that tomorrow, yours truly, coming off the blackest summer ever, we will be with Uncle Thaddeus Miles during Black Joy Day at the International Contemporary Arts Museum. Institute of Contemporary Arts Museum. We will be there tomorrow afternoon. Uh-oh. I see a comment from folks at the Real Boston Media. We will be there tomorrow evening for Black Joy Day with Uncle Thaddeus. So please plan to come out. I don't know if the tickets are all sold out. Let me just check right now to see if I can go to try to get one and see what happens there. The tickets are free. So is that a link or a picture? Look. Me, DJ Dex, and Uncle Thaddeus. And Rochelle, if she's still on. Rochelle is there in the corner right before she went to thing. Well, no, that was last year. I'm lying. Where is the link? Let me see if I can get the link here. Because the worst thing is to promote something and the tickets are gone. All right. Okay, here it is. Black Joy Day, blah, 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 blah. Get gallery tickets and admission. I'm going to put the link in here. Promo code, if you have one. Tickets are still available. Everything is free. Okay, so how am I going to get? I want to copy link and put it in the comments. And then we're out of here. My mother went on and text Mingo. Mingo say he's not leaving, Ma. Excuse me for 1 second. While I'm doing this. Yes, sir, Brother Anthony. We're out on sponsored ads. Anthony, did you enjoy my commentary a few minutes ago? Because he's been wanting some other folks that are in here. All right, I'm about to do something right now, get in trouble, and then we're leaving. Since I wasn't on yesterday, we'll go a teeny bit longer. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, excuse me for 1 second. Why isn't it ring? Oh, Mingo.
What up?
You're live on Java with Jimmy.
What's going on, James?
Hey, what's going on, James? My tail. Why is my mother texting me back and telling me that you must have told her? Because I told everybody to text you and ask you when you're leaving. Is she?
Where am I leaving?
I'm asking you. We said that you need to get up out of here and take a little break for a couple of days. I asked you that the other day, and then you didn't even answer the question this morning. So on the show this morning, I told everybody to inbox you and ask you when you leave.
Oh, that's why I'm getting that. Listen, I'm not going anywhere. Mingos is back on the grind, ready to roll, focusing on how do we keep people accountable? How do we increase our voter participation between now and November 4th?
Facts. Yep,
our numbers in our districts are so low. This was never about Domingos. This was about how do we participate on how to make our city better. And when we look at the numbers from the other night, a lot of those numbers are coming from outside the areas that are highly impacted with the issues we face. So we need to get people more engaged. And I don't know if I'll ever stop, but the reality is we need to come back and focus on how we're going to move as a community, because those numbers are embarrassing.
They are very embarrassing. And I gave some commentary earlier from top to bottom of where individual, we have responsibility. Yes. But from top to bottom, to electeds, to civic engaging organizations, to, all that, there's a responsibility that we have to try to get people out to vote as much as possible. Even if it's not for your candidate, go vote. But We're not taking
Listen,
you to Mingo. No. Hold on, because Mingo, hold on.
Can I ask you one question?
A quick
promotion?
question, and then we're going back to and I said what you said earlier about the events and the electeds and the slippery slope of it being perceived as campaign versus, but go ahead and ask me a question. And then we're gonna go back to the fact, if y'all agree that Mingo need to take a day or two and take care of herself.
Yesterday.
No, because Dina just told me that she saw you. Dina just told me you was out community working yesterday, bro. So come, you about to make me.
Listen, what I'm saying is, during the heat wave, I got a text message from the city of Boston warning me.
Yep.
Because of the heat waves.
Yep.
I didn't get a text message about early voting.
Yep.
Or the general, the preliminaries. So we can't pick and choose when we advise the community. We need these services to be used on every single concern, every single opportunity to get the community to engage. We can't keep allowing this disenfranchisement from the up to the bottom. Like, we are being, and again, if you go look at the numbers, you'll see the communities who are engaged.
Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Bingo.
Versus,
I got the 75. I don't know if you have it yet, but I got the 75 page breakdown, the ward and precinct percentage blank. Dude, guess what I'm doing this weekend? I'm about to go.
You're gonna analyze that.
You don't understand.
I started analyzing it yesterday.
You got it? You got the 75 page?
Man, listen, I want people to stop by the office and let's teach people why we say percentages matter. People do not understand how the percentages is what we're talking about.
Yep.
I'm not asking you to vote for anybody. What I'm asking you to do is vote for your community. Blank vote. Come out and just
Blank
put a
vote
percentage on the board.
Yep. And that all is so. Hold on. Anthony said $10 million just spent in the mayor's election for a 21% turnout. That's a whole nother. I know you did. You did. But Mingo, stop. Mingo, hold on. I'm about to mute you.
I'm sorry.
Mingo, you did not take a break yesterday. And I get it. Bro. I get it. I'm guilty of it. Maybe that's why I'm on you so much. But I'm doing better because when I get off of here today,
I got a weekend. I got this weekend that I'm gonna take off, and because everybody's at school and work and stuff like that. So we're gonna take this weekend and we're gonna regroup as a family, have some conversations about what we learned and how we see, us as a family improving the city that we love. Because, like I said, my whole family's involved. My grandkids who ain't born yet need a place where they can call home, and I want to make sure that my children and my siblings and even my mom was at the ballot, and she's like, "Listen, boy, shut up. I've been voting longer than you've been alive, and I know what your name is. I gave it to you."
Mingo, you owe some people some of your mother's chicken. I was watching that day, so I need a plate too, bro.
Yeah, I was trying to get her to make some stuff yesterday. You know what she told me?
What? She on break, or she got dates?
No, she said you gotta let me know.
You broke out. Crap. Let you know when?
Chicken in a minute.
Oh, she hasn't made it in a minute. Well, when she gonna make some kachupa?
She usually makes that on the weekend because that's about a 7-hour process.
You talked about analyzing numbers and whatnot. I might.
I'm telling you, James, it'd be great for you to actually do just a whole segment.
I am
on how that works.
Oh, I am.
So people can fully understand why it's important. Yep. I'm getting phone calls now like, yeah, we're going to vote on November 4th. I was like, dude, the preliminaries were Tuesday. Oh, I didn't know that. So there's a lot of miscommunication and misinformation that folks don't really understand. And, again, you, I, and others have told them, if you got a candidate of your choice and it's a preliminary, you need to make that ballot, because if not, your choice will not be on that November ballot. And that's what I keep telling a lot of my supporters today and yesterday, like, I didn't know. I said, this is why we keep trying to put information out there. And sometimes, you take the flyer, you take a club flyer and you take the girl out the front, most people ain't going to show up. So how do we get people's attention, not only during an election cycle, but day to day, so we can keep moving these conversations forward?
Yep. Agreed. Brother, get off of here. I'm glad that you're taking the time this weekend. I guess I have to embrace that, you know, I struggled when you said you're gathering with your family. I was glad to hear that. And then when you said we're going to, you know, figure out how we, you know, impact the city still, I get it. I guess I have to embrace that is, and I know it's the essence of who you are, but Mingo, at some point you got to not,
James, it's the energy of my ancestors that continue to give me the full strength I need, because I realized, you know, after going back and looking, like, you know, we both got emotional the other day on Monday, and people don't realize, like, we're very caring people.
Yep.
And it's hard to walk away from something that I started, you know, 30 years ago.
Yep.
It's hard. Like, I still cry for my cousins. I still cry for my family members, my friends, the families that have been impacted through all these different traumas. And, you know, when you get a phone call from someone, you know, any time of the day and they need help, it's kind of hard to say, hold on, wait a minute, I'm having breakfast, call me back. People are looking for support. And, you know, regardless of who takes that office on the 5th floor, I'm still going to be in those meetings, and I'm still going to be advocating to share the information, because my whole thing is we need people to know what is versus what's not, because then they can self-empower themselves and they can take initiative to take control of what they see as a concern. Because, you know, BPS just started a week ago. You know, our alma mater, you know,
I talked about it.
We already got. You know, I'm not for that. Like,
nope.
What do we got to do as an alumni group to come into school and help? Like, you know, I'm part of that guardian angel era. So what do we got to do to patrol our community? What do we got to do to make our city safer? You know, I love National Night Out, but for me, you know, if I was mayor, I would have used that fund to help make Halloween the National Night Out, to make it safe for all our children across the city, because we know Halloween is a very, very intense night. And if we use that kind of strategy, that's how we continue to make the city safe, and that's how we continue to involve people. But if we're only looking at things from a one aspect, we're just going to keep spinning this wheel, and we're just going to keep getting the same results on the back end. And that's what's going on with what we do politically. You know,
hold on. It's a good segue into one aspect, and I want the people to hear what a lot of us know about the demonstrated work of your commitment beyond Tuesday. But I'm gonna cut you off, bro, because I at some point I've learned that you just got to not do nothing in this space. And for Mingo, if nothing else, to just give
I'm gonna ride my dirt bike up Blue Hill Ave and down Columbia Road and around the neighborhood.
Mingo, get off my phone. Mingo.
I have my ways of relaxing and enjoying my time, my brother.
Okay, but make sure that it's extended and not these little. Because, bro, how old are you? We're close in age. How old are you?
48. I'm 48.
I got 5 years, and I just got to the point, maybe in the last 2.5, 3 years, where I'm selfless, but I'm also now a little bit selfish about myself. So you refer to the ancestors and that energy, bro. You need to be here and not be an ancestor. Hey, hold on. You need to be an ancestor not too early, Ninja.
Yeah, I got you.
So you said you got me. Yes, please. Yep.
That's my dude, man. Like, my first podcast was with him when I first ran in 17, and he was like, dude, I heard some stuff you said, and we had to get you on the show. And I pulled up at the crib, and it was nothing but love. Like, I was, you know, the podcast was over, but I was there for like another hour and a half, and we were just chopping it up.
Yep.
Very, very highly intelligent Black man, always looking for inspiring the next. And it's like, yo, you know, we lose another icon in our community, and we can't afford to lose people if we're not creating those to replace us.
So,
you know,
Mingo, stop. Get off my phone. Ninja, based on what you just said right there, seriously, take the dirt bike. Huh? What did you say?
So you ain't got no gummy bears?
Mingo, get off my phone. I'll what you call
I love you, James.
I love you too. Oh, when I see you, dog, it's good. I'll talk to you later, Mingo. Behave. I love you, bro.
I will.
All right,
love
brother.
you too.
All right, man. I got a headache. I have a whole headache. I get it. I get it. And maybe in the next 2 years or whatever, he'll get it too. And I get it. I get it. I remember Governor Patrick asked me once, James, what do you do for fun? Oh, I help people and organize. We're going to go. Darn it, Union Capital people, it's 11:34. Now y'all got 2 hours. I'm off of here, and we'll see y'all. This energy ain't directed toward y'all. This energy is directed toward Mingo. And I meant to read your comment to him, Dina, while he was on the thing. But I'll see y'all on tomorrow at Black Joy at the ICA. Y'all have a good weekend, and we'll talk to y'all.